Welcome back, Awakening Beauties. If you're new to my channel, I give you a hearty welcome. My name is Robin. I'm 53 years old. I love all things beauty, makeup, fashion, lifestyle, all the good stuff. And today I'm trying out the new Natasha Denona Hy-Glam foundation. I picked this up because I already love the Natasha Denona Hy-Glam concealer, and I've been using this for I think well over a year now, and it's one of my favorite concealers. So when she came out with a foundation, I said I gotta try it. This is not a first impressions video. I am going to apply the product, and I'll do the rest of my makeup as well. And at the end of the day, after 8 or 9 hours, I am going to do an end of the day follow-up to show you what it looks like on this 53-year-old skin and how it holds up, and to give you my impressions after wearing this all week. So let's get started. So I picked up the color N3, and it is a fairly good shade match. The concealer is I think it's N4. Yeah, I use the N4 for the concealer. So let me just show you on the back of my hand what the consistency is like. I really like the bottle, by the way. It's a really nice frosted glass. It's a pretty full coverage foundation. I found that I can get medium coverage, definitely not a light coverage foundation. So now I've prepped my skin. I'm gonna show some of the other products that I'm using today on another video, so just stay tuned for that. Or maybe that already went up before this one. But I've prepped my skin with this new cream from Ravie Beauty, so I'm nice and hydrated. I'm not going to use any kind of primer. I have used primer with the Natasha Denona. I have used it with and without, and honestly, I didn't really notice that big of a difference. I used a gripping primer. I used the Maybelline Grippy Hydrating Serum Primer this week, and I've used my Ulta Poreless Perfection, or whatever the name of that one is. I haven't noticed that it changed the longevity of it when I didn't wear a primer with it, so that's just my experience. And just so you know, like I said, I'm 53. I have dry leaning skin. I get dry patches around my nose. My skin tends to get drier and drier throughout the day, around my mouth, around my eyes. Everything just sort of dries out through the day. And maybe that's because of air conditioning. I live in South Florida, so we have AC pretty much 360 days of the year. We might have 4 or 5 days without AC, but most of the time we are inside in the air conditioning. So again, this is the consistency. It's pretty thick. I'm gonna go ahead and use my new Tati brushes. This is the one I've been using, and this is the ES2. So this is sort of like a little spatula type application, which I really have been liking. And I don't know if you could see it, but I actually woke up with a pimple today. Isn't that nice? At 53, you don't think you're gonna be waking up with pimples, but there you are. So what I like about this is really, you don't need to build it up. One layer is pretty good coverage, pretty high coverage. I don't think that this is a perfect match to my skin. It's pretty good, but I don't know, maybe it's oxidizing slightly throughout the day, because I do feel like when I look in the mirror of truth, my car mirror, when I'm leaving work, I just kind of check out how my skin has been looking at the end of the day before I drive home. And I do feel like it looks a little dark, like on my chin area. So I don't know that this is the perfect match for me. I didn't get matched in the store. I just ordered it online because they didn't have it available in the store. So this Tati brush is really good because you can really extend your makeup and make it go a lot further by picking it up and laying it down like this. Because look how much is, I'm just picking that up off the back of my hand, and look how much it picked up. Still, that's on that brush. And then you can just stamp it in after you lay it down, which is sort of like using a sponge. without using a sponge. I always say this, I'm not a professional makeup artist. I'm just an average person, an average woman who loves makeup. Let's take a look at it in the mirror, making sure it's nice and blended out. I'm gonna zoom you in because I can do that now. So right now, it's looking pretty glowy. And I would attribute that to my skincare that I just put on. Because when this dries down, to me, it doesn't stay this glowy. And plus, I'm gonna put powder and stuff on over top of this when I do the rest of my makeup. But it blends out very nicely. It provides a lot of coverage. It feels hydrating initially. I'll report more at the end of the day, obviously, when I come back, because at the end of the day, I noticed that my skin feels a lot more matte than it did early on. And in a way, this sort of reminds me of the Maybelline Lumi Matte Foundation. Actually, it reminds me quite a bit of that foundation. That at the end of the day, it still looks nice, but it's a little bit more matte than luminous. But this has a beautiful luminous glow, I would say. It's not a matte foundation, although it is like a luminous matte. So I do find that this is a really nice formula. I think this is best suited probably for a little bit more oily complexions. Since I am very dry, tend to be very dry, I have to make sure I'm using a lot of hydration before I go in and put this on. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then it's sort of overcast outside, but I will take you outside and show you what this looks like in natural light. Okay, so this is the finished look using the Natasha Denona Hy-Glam foundation. You'll see some of the other products in another video that I just filmed. Everything will be listed below that I used today, but we're gonna check in. Like I said, I'm probably gonna do a 4-hour check-in. I probably should set a timer to make sure I do that, and then an 8-hour check-in and see how it goes. It's very overcast today, but this is the Hy-Glam foundation from Natasha Denona in natural light. Hey guys, so this is the 4-hour check-in of the Natasha Denona Hy-Glam foundation. So right now it's 4:40. I had some lunch and I've been doing some editing. And what I can see right now, things are looking pretty good. It hasn't gathered too badly in my nostrils. It's looking pretty good. It hasn't gathered. I have a little lipstick on the top of my, I need to touch this up a little bit. It's still looking pretty natural. It's looking pretty even. It hasn't like gathered into my fine lines too much. And I'm looking in a 10x mirror right now to see what it looks like. I do have a little mascara flakes. Other than that, the foundation is looking pretty good. I will come back in another 4 hours when we get to the 8-hour check-in. So probably like 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night before I go to wash my makeup off and see how it's doing then. Okay, I'm checking back in. It's 8:35, so it's been 8 hours since I put on the Natasha Denona Hy-Glam foundation. And I sort of did myself a disservice, or maybe did you guys a disservice, that I didn't talk about the features of this foundation from the beginning, because I was looking at the back of the box and it said that it's for all skin types, bamboo powder and microalgae balance excess oils, providing a radiant finish for dry to oily skin types. Some of the other features of this, it has jasmine mother cells, whatever that means, which boost antioxidant, defenses, brightens, and fights hyperpigmentation. So there's some skin caring ingredients in here as well. White tea silver needle, which blurs imperfections and skin textures. Anyways, there's a lot of claims of this, and something that I saw in a short, I just happened to be scrolling on YouTube this afternoon, and somebody was talking about this foundation and said that it is self-setting. So if something is self-setting, theoretically you don't need to use powder. And maybe that's one of the reasons why I felt like it's gotten a little more dry throughout the day. And it is full coverage, by the way. I've been talking this whole time and I had lipstick on my chin. Okay, so I'm looking in my 10X mirror, and I gotta say, you know, it is breaking up. How did I get lipstick on my nose? I guess I should have looked in the mirror before I started filming. Either way, it's the concealer's not looking great. That's also the Natasha Denona. But the foundation is like breaking up just a little bit right here. It's settled in slightly to my lines around my mouth. But all in all, it's actually looking really good. Don't know if you can see. So I feel like my skin just looks like kind of healthy and glowy. I don't look oily. I have dry skin, like I've said before. So I wouldn't expect my skin to look oily by the end of the day, because generally it doesn't. But I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of breaking up right here, just ever so slightly. So my final thoughts on this, as I've been wearing it for the past 5 days in a row, I've been wearing this foundation. I think it is really nice. It is full coverage though. It is full coverage, like more coverage than my other favorite foundation, which is the House Labs, which feels a little bit more like skincare and more like a serum-y kind of consistency. This goes on heavier, but I think it's a really great foundation. And whether all of these skincare benefits are going to, you know, be shown throughout more time wearing this, who knows? It's nice to know that they've thought about these things. Some of the other claims is that it soothes and repairs sensitive skin, calms and reduces redness immediately and over time, and strengthens the skin barrier. So it's supposed to improve moisture and detoxify the skin. That's a lot of claims for a foundation. I will say it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel like, you know how some foundations, when you have them on for over 8 hours and you just get to the point where you're like, I just can't wait to wash this off my face. I can feel it on my face. Everything is breaking up and looking not so fresh. And you can actually feel it. You can, even though I don't have oily skin, I can feel that sort of, I can get sort of that feeling of oiliness right around here in my temples, like right above my brows and my temples. And I don't feel that with this foundation. So all in all, I would say that this is a very solid release. It's a very good foundation. Even though it is full coverage, it doesn't feel as heavy as other full foundation. Guys, I'm tired. I usually go to bed at 9 o'clock, so it's getting close to my bedtime. So let me get my final thoughts out. This is really good. If you don't like full coverage, you probably won't like this. You probably wouldn't want to wear this every day if you don't like full coverage. I have been wearing it every day to work just because I've been testing it out, and I can see that this is going to be a regular part of my rotation. I plan to wear it quite a bit over the next few months. Definitely gonna get my money's worth out of it. I like the way that my skin looks. I think it looks really good. And some of the other things on my skin aren't holding up quite as well as the foundation. the concealer, which is also Natasha Denona. I don't think it's looking as good. I could have gone in and sort of, you know, fixed it a little bit before filming, but I decided to let everything be as it was before I started filming. So that is my final thoughts on this foundation. And if I have any more thoughts, I will pin them in a comment below. And I always leave a pinned comment on my videos giving any final thoughts, more updated thoughts, as well as giving links to products that I'm trying. And links are always included also in the description box below. You just have to click on more and it will open up and you will see links to all the products that I refer to in my videos. Well, thank you so much for being here. If you liked this, please give it a like. It really helps. And if you're not subscribed, then go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you back in my little growing community. And if you hit the notification bell, that will alert you when I upload videos, which is generally about once a week. All right, well, that does it for me. Again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've tried this foundation and you've liked it or you haven't liked it, leave a comment below. It really helps everyone if we hear what your thoughts are about a product. And also let us know what your skin type is. I'd be curious to see what your comments are if you've tried this foundation and whether you think it's worth it or good, or if you would recommend it to anybody. All right, guys, I will see you in my next one, but until then, you know what? You're doing great.